Hi guys, welcome to another podcast on the JV. Hey.
Oh my gosh, off to a good start.
Oh dear. Let's just take this from the top. Hi guys, welcome to another podcast on the JV.
Hey.
And Willy channel. And I guess the reason I was falling over my words a little bit is because I'm particularly excited about the guest we have on today. That's right, it is the incredible Tom Nook from Build-A-Bear. So they are going to be joining us on our podcast today where we talk about all things Build-A-Bear collab with Animal Crossing. We're going to speculate on what's next. We're going to talk about how we feel about the Isabelle and Tom Nook bears, what we were expecting with the release, all that kind of thing. And I'm going to feel a little bit like my university lecturer here because only there have I heard the words said. We are going to be starting with a bit of housekeeping today. And that's true, we actually are. We have a few things happening on the channel that we really want to share with you guys. So I guess first things first, I want to announce our giveaway that we are doing. So we managed to get our hands on a second pack of Sanrio cards because we were quite clumsy and both ordered one. So to make sure that everyone gets access to these, we are going to be giving the spare pack away on the channel. Now there is a video we will link in the description telling you how you can enter that giveaway. So if you haven't been able to get your hands on those Sanrio cards and would like to, please check out that video. So JB, any more housekeeping you want to go over?
So pretty much there's no housekeeping with Bunny Day whatsoever. It came and went and it was an okay time, to be honest, but in terms of the Sanrio cards, they arrived in alright time and in pretty good condition, to be honest, so we really did enjoy that. Please do expect some things to be featured on the channel. Maybe we'll do some speed builds. I don't know, we've already done an unpacking video.
And really a tier list for the villagers themselves.
Oh yeah, we'll have to do the item tier list at some point. That'll be a very, very fun video.
Indeed. So, like we said, subscribe for Sanrio and check the description for that giveaway. Anything else you want to go over before we head into the Build-A-Bear content?
I think that does it for now. So in terms of Build-A-Bear, I am very much on the side of, no matter what your opinion is, I would quite like to be the one that tries to defend Build-A-Bear this time, because I do have a few things to say.
Okay, so I guess I'll probably play devil's advocate to balance this out, but of course I want to start because I am so grateful that we even have Animal Crossing in Build-A-Bear. So of course I'm going to let you take the light here and talk about why you are so happy with the Build-A-Bear collection.
So, I am really thrilled because having Build-A-Bear collaborate with Animal Crossing and having it sell well will inevitably encourage them to do more of them, to do more collaborations, more outfits potentially, a different line, maybe even their own like little spin-off. Not only that, but it will also show Nintendo that collaborations with other companies will work, and it'll also have a lot of other companies going, you know, maybe they'll have their business heads on and they'll be going, oh, well, we can just stick New Horizons on something and it'll sell really well. But honestly, I think that that's a really fantastic outlook for companies to have. Like, just thinking about all the products that I enjoy having in day-to-day life, even certain clothing items, because I know that they've done Mario shoes. Could you imagine if, like, you know, a high-class but affordable clothing line thought, oh my gosh, we need to, like, jump on this Animal Crossing thing, and they did a whole entire fashion line with Animal Crossing? I think that would be amazing. And, I don't know, a part of me really wanted to defend Build-A-Bear sooner, because we saw a lot of people, you know, that we know, rightfully getting disappointed, you know, with it being just Tom Nook or just Isabelle, which I personally don't have too much of a problem with, even though it's a bit disappointing going, oh, well, we'll just go to Etsy, we'll just buy this or buy that. And that isn't a problem, because, you know, obviously these Build-A-Bears did sell out, but at the same time, it's kind of like, you know, you don't need to spend your money buying something you don't want, obviously, but thinking about it like this, the more Build-A-Bears they sell, the quicker they sell, the more likelihood that they are to introduce more. And that was kind of my main mentality in wanting to really show some support for Build-A-Bear.
Yeah, and indeed, before I play devil's advocate and perhaps look at some of the negatives, I too would just like to throw in a bit of a defence for Build-A-Bear here, that I believe the Build-A-Bear experience is going into the store. It's seeing that teddy get stuffed. It's seeing the heart go inside it. It's filling out the birth certificate for your teddy. And I feel like, given the pandemic and things, Build-A-Bear has had to adapt to that, and you don't get that same hands-on experience. So it could almost be an experimental thing to see how this was going to go before the lockdown was lifted and you could actually go back into the stores to get that proper hands-on experience. Now, I guess that's not the case in the US, but certainly for the UK, that's one perspective that I would take. Now, Tom Nook, how do you feel about being introduced to Build-A-Bear? So I think that means that they're quite happy. Either that or they're trying to get 10,000 bells out of us for something. I can't be too sure. But here's where I'm going to take the flip side and maybe look at a couple of negatives. So I think, first things first, I don't particularly like Tom Nook, nor do I particularly like Isabelle. I think it's fair to say that neither of them... Yeah, we'll cover your ears. I think it's fair to say that neither of them are even in my top 10 of the people that appear on the island. So yeah, I do think they're characters that I consider quite dull in comparison to others, and therefore I would much prefer others. I would have preferred to get one of my islanders. I'd have preferred to get a KK slider or something even a bit new. Do you know what? Even Orville and Wilbur would have been so cute, just because it's things that we don't ordinarily see. So for those people that were like, I'm just going to check out eBay, I'm going to check out Etsy because there's more variety, that is very true. At this point, I think you were very much ordering just for that Build-A-Bear brand as opposed to the teddy themselves. I do think that it's really nice, the feature that we've kind of been playing with a bit on this channel today, where you get their voice and things like that. That's really nice, a different addition. But yeah, I can very much see people that's saying, you know what, I actually aren't going to buy into this, because at this point it does very much appear that you are just buying it for the name, or for the love of Animal Crossing, I guess. But like for us personally, it's like, okay, there's an Animal Crossing product, we can't not have it, let's get it. But I wouldn't say it was because we love Tom Nook or we love Isabelle. So it would have been better for Build-A-Bear to do different characters, but they have already announced that this is going to happen. There is more to be made, so let's not all go a little bit mad and say that, oh, this is it, because it's not. They are going to build more, and I guess if you're launching an Animal Crossing range, where else would you start but with Tom Nook and Isabelle? And they are just the start of the lineup for what's coming. And I guess more on that, we are going to look at some predictions of what we think the next thing to come is going to be. Now, I do think the main prediction we've heard is KK Slider, and I think, JB, that's the one that you'd most want, am I correct?
Yeah, and I guess just for a minute on that kind of defending Build-A-Bear thing. I don't think Build-A-Bear is an extremely successful company or business. Like, I think they do fine, but they're not absolutely thriving. I believe they only have stores in the UK and US, which is still pretty good, but I think that it's very limited in terms of what they can and can't do. That being said, they are still quite a big company. But I think what they wanted with this release is that they wanted to test the waters, and it would be a bit bizarre to have the first release be a handful of villagers. I don't think that would have worked. So I don't think the people behind Build-A-Bear really understood Animal Crossing or the community. I think what they've done is, we really want to try this out. It could, make us some good sales. Who are the two people from this New Horizons game? And they've picked out
Yes.
Tom Nook and Isabelle, and they've sold really well. So I just think from the point of view of, they could have given us Leaf or some other character that we really like, but I don't think they could have not launched it with what they saw as the safest bet.
Yeah, I think, as I said just before, you don't launch an Animal Crossing thing without Tom Nook and Isabelle. You just don't. We might not have wanted them necessarily, but you just don't do anything Animal Crossing without them. They are like the backbone of all the old games. So you just need them there. You do that. You can't not have Tom Nook and Isabelle. I guess you'd said something that I wanted to pick up on that was actually quite interesting. Yes, you mentioned villagers or islanders. Now, I agree with you. You couldn't start a range by releasing 5 villagers, because we have the Amiibo card, we know there's over 400 villagers out there. And the main, like, high tier ones, you'd probably say, okay, let's do Judy, Marshall, Anchor. You'd go for that kind of vibe. And it is very, very unlikely that people will have managed to get them on their island. I mean, a lot of people dreamy hunt. They put thousands of Nook Mile tickets into doing this. But, you can't just say, okay, here's the high tiers. Because there are so many people that support the underdogs. Like, for example, JB, whenever we do an island tour and we see Raymond's house, we go into it in the hope that it's going to be Gruff. Because they have the same house. They are a completely underrated villager or islander, and they don't have the respect they deserve. So every time we see that house, we go into it praying for Gruff. And I don't think that you can just throw the high tier villagers out there and nothing else, because for all people are saying, oh, it's only Tom Nook, it's only Isabelle, it's still Animal Crossing. We still love it. It's still that image that we see every day when we get our morning announcements. Every time we have to spend thousands and thousands of bells, we see Tom Nook's face. These are things we're used to. Whereas very rare villagers, so rare that people have things where they create. I don't actually know how to do this, but apparently you can use your phone to get villagers and things. I'm not too sure about how to do it, but people have come up with all these things. People have been selling islanders and all these kinds of things that we've not actually, dabbled in or got into. But I feel like so few people have been able to get those really high esteemed villagers or islanders that you can't actually just launch a few of them. I think unless you were doing about 50 villagers at least, someone's going to be unhappy.
And here's the thing, they really need iconic characters that have been through the entire series, that have been the forefront of the series. And don't forget, Isabelle has transcended Animal Crossing to some people. Like, some people may just know her as a fighter in Smash, but imagine, the shops open again, everyone goes out to Build-A-Bear to have a good time, or maybe it's in a shopping mall, and there's a kid there that's really, really into Animal Crossing. Now, they may not have, access to YouTube. Maybe their parents don't let them. They may not be up to date with everything. And same with the parents. They may not be up to date with everything. So it would be a bit odd to walk past Build-A-Bear and there's like a new display. And as much as I love these characters, it's Wisp. Someone could think, oh, look, there's a new Ghostbusters film out. Maybe they've collabed with that. Or, there's Audie, there's a fox in Build-A-Bear. That's something not really new. But to have Isabelle and Tom Nook being so iconic, it jumps out to people. They're like, oh my gosh, they're the person from Animal Crossing. I've seen them on, my son's Switch. Or, oh my gosh, yes, I've seen them on the internet. Like, I just think that's going to be a phenomenal thing to see.
And you know what? Like, people are complaining about Isabelle. Oh, it's just Isabelle. Or, oh, Isabelle's just that annoying thing that makes the announcements at the start of the day. But I remember Twitter when people just first, got the Animal Crossing game installed. They did their first day on the island and there was no Isabelle. I remember people tweeting, where's Isabelle? What's going on? Because you actually have to play the game for at least 5 or 6 days before Isabelle appears. And so I do remember a time when people were confused that she wasn't around. So for them now to just kind of be having these negative views about her, I kind of don't back that, because I personally never played any of the games, so I didn't have Isabelle to miss, and I do think she's quite annoying. But for those people that were like, oh my goodness, where's Isabelle? What happened to Isabelle? I feel like she's got a lot of hate, and people have actually forgotten about the time when everyone was tweeting out, what's happened to her, where is she, when that game was first launched.
I think that's really true. And let's not forget, for all these are the newest Animal Crossing game, and arguably maybe it's going to go down in history as the most successful one of all time, because obviously when the next one rolls out on the rumoured Switch Pro or the Nintendo Next or whatever they decide to call it, hopefully there won't be another lockdown, another pandemic, or another situation where people flood out to get these so that they have something to do while they're stuck indoors. And I would say maybe a lot of people that we've even, toured their islands, they don't play the game anymore. Some people will have just fallen off, and maybe some of them will come back like, oh, there's a new Animal Crossing game. I remember when that helped us through the pandemic and everything, so I'll pick that up. And a lot of long-time fans will buy it, but I don't think the next game will be as successful as New Horizons. No. So just, beyond New Horizons, these are still going to be iconic characters that they could remarket, rebrand, or just like they're like distinctly New Horizons branded. You could just get this as a nice memory, a nice token of your time on the island.
And you know what? Like, there might be people out there that'll judge me for saying this, but I actually don't know what my lockdown would have been for the last... We're actually like at 12 months in the UK now that we've pretty much been in lockdown for. I don't know what my last year would have been if it wasn't for Tom Nook's Island Getaways. Like, if they hadn't taken me off to Militopia and let me pitch a tent there, and granted they've charged me quite heavily for it, but I don't know what lockdown would have been, and it was, Nook's Getaways that did that. So I think... this guy's actually earned his place in the Build-A-Bear windows.
And it really wouldn't be fair to have them be a selection of villagers. I don't even think I would enjoy the fact that there's villagers, because then, you're only going to want to... Unless you're a serious collector and a content creator, I feel that they could have released Judy and Raymond, people that we've never had on our island, but it would have been like, oh, they're really cuddly, they look really nice, and I'd love to showcase them on the channel, so I'll buy them. But unless you're a content creator or a serious collector, if you don't like Judy, you've never had Judy on your island, you don't want Judy, you're not going to buy that product necessarily, and I don't think that that's what Build-A-Bear wanted. Now, imagine, say like Millie said, someone like me that really likes Gruff, they're going to do Raymond's, Audie's, Marshall's way before Gruff, if they ever get to Gruff.
They'd never get to Gruff. Do you know what? It's actually really sad, because for your birthday, I searched for Gruff on every site. They don't do the plushies, they don't do pillows. The only thing I managed to get you that was remotely Gruff related was a t-shirt. And, shout out to whoever made the t-shirt. I think I got it on Amazon. It's incredible. But, there's just too many islanders to give them all representation. But another reason why they could only do 2, okay? And everyone wanted more, everyone still wants more, and I honestly believe there will be. But back to what I was saying, the reason I think they could only do 2 is, if you guys remember getting these online, you had to click on the one that you wanted and you joined a queue for that one. If they were to have launched 5 at the same time, I think it would have broken the site, because I think everybody would have tried to find 5 devices to get in a queue for each one. The way that it was kind of done, at least in the UK, you could only really order one, and then you had to pay postage for that one, and then you were still on the website so you could order more, but it really was quite kind of time sensitive and all that kind of thing. I don't think the Build-A-Bear website could have taken there been 5 of these.
Yeah, to the point where even with the lineup we saw on Twitter that the US site crashed.
Yeah, a friend, I think it was Annalise, posted that the site just went down. So I just don't think they could have managed it. I think they've got off to a very good start. I think there's more coming, and I do think that perhaps the lockdown ending will also allow them to experiment a bit more with what they do, because they will have their shops, their facilities at their kind of disposal again. Because again, as I was saying, to me, Build-A-Bear is about a very personalised experience, like doing the heart thing, putting in, filling out those certificates, and also picking out outfits, which I do have a little concept for how they can incorporate that we're going to touch upon later in the video. So JB, anything else you want to add to kind of back Build-A-Bear, or even to kind of add a bit of controversy to the mix?
I mean, here's a bit of controversy. I am not the biggest fan of how the clothing on Tom Nook is stitched on, because it really just doesn't seem like a Build-A-Bear. Even if you go in and go through the stuffing experience when shops open, it just feels like Tom Nook toy. A great quality Tom Nook toy, and I love it a lot, But to me, I would love the idea of being able to customize Tom Nook and just having all these crazy combinations that would just really excite the community on Twitter. Like, imagine you having like Luke
Yeah.
Skywalker Tom Nook, Pirate Tom Nook. I think that would be amazing.
And I can see why you're saying that, because this is advertised on Build-A-Bear's site as the summer Tom Nook. So they could have played on that a little bit more and been like, oh yeah, this is the autumn Tom Nook. Because they do tend to just alter their outfits slightly throughout the seasons. And, for certain holidays, they'll get extra kind of hats and accessories and all that kind of thing. So to have been able to change them for seasons and things, I think would have been incredible. Because like I said, this was marketed for summer.
I'm just worried that these are going to end up becoming, because they've sold really well, that what I argued for is almost going to be flipped on its head. And that these are just going to be money-making Funko Pop type things for Build-A-Bear. Not that Funko Pops are bad, but I imagine, since you've mentioned that this is the summer variant,
there's going to be winter,
a winter variant, autumn variant, spring variant, here's Tom Nook New Leaf variant, to the point where there's just going to be that many variants of the same things, purely for the basis that they know that it's such, a hyped game at the moment that people are going to buy it, and I really don't like that it's gone from Build-A-Bear customize your teddy to now here's an excuse to just sell different outfits on the full teddy for full price. And that isn't good, and that's why I was so excited when we speculated KK Slider, because just imagining the different Rockstar outfits that you could have put into that, I speculated like a Freddie Mercury not Tom Nook, but KK Slider, and Elton John KK Slider.
You actually speculated some amazing things with KK Slider. One thing you suggested, and this was maybe perhaps completely out there, but even bringing back DJ KK, and what you could do, I don't know if you've seen the DJ KK plush, but they have kind of like a spinning set in front of them of for CDs, discs, albums, anything like that. And what JB suggested was you could collect the little voice boxes like we have in Tom Nook when they do this. And we could have those little boxes that each played different KK Slider songs that you could almost put into those kind of spinner things and
Yeah, little mini vinyl records.
Yeah.
Now, they could sell that for a ridiculous price, like £20 or more realistically £12, if they just made it seem like a collector's item. The problem with that being, of course, I don't think some songs will sell nearly as well as others. But imagine Bubblegum KK as a little miniature vinyl record that you can take in and out of the sleeve, you can keep safe. You might even be able to get accessories to that, like if you wanted to hang them on the wall or anything. Little mini KK Slider albums would be fantastic, and you could just play them on your DJ KK kind of soundboard. To me, that would be the pinnacle of merch, or the pinnacle of items, because I would try and collect all of those CDs.
So I've touched on KK Slider a lot there. So what else would you like to see, or do you expect to see from Build-A-Bear?
So, okay, I'm gonna expand upon this. I would like us both to give our top 3 or top 5 different collaborations.
Let's do top 5.
Top 5 that don't involve KK Slider, because I feel that...
Yeah, because they have announced there's going to be one more
and I think it's 100%
May
KK
or June.
Slider.
And yeah, the one individually is going to be KK Slider. It doesn't make sense to be anything else. For example, the Able sisters kind of come as either a duo or a trio. You can't have Celeste, which would do really well, without Blathers, because they were there from day one. So it does only appear that KK Slider would be the logical person to be next. So yeah, top 5 other than KK Slider. Do you want to start?
Yeah, so do you want me to give my 5, or do you want me to give 1, then you give 1?
Let's do 1 then 1, yeah?
Okay.
Are we starting with our most wanted?
I think no particular order.
Okay, let's go.
So the first one that I would love to see is Leaf. Not because I'm particularly attached to that character, but I really want to just see have a little sloth plush that you can cuddle, it can climb on things. And the little sound box can just be Leaf talking, and I just think that that'd be such a peaceful creature to be able to buy, and I would love to do that.
Okay, my first one is going to be Celeste.
Ooh.
And I felt like you were going to take that away from me.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like, because they're associated with stars, you could have these eyes that shine almost like glitter. And as well, for their sound box, it could almost be the noise when you wish on a star in the game. Because obviously they give you the kind of celestial DIYs and things. I just think that would be an amazing concept. You wouldn't be able to get the standard Build-A-Bear thing where you have outfits and things, I don't really think. But still, I would love that concept of like almost like solid eyes, whereas these ones are like cotton. Just so you could have that sparkly effect. And again, the shooting star, the noise would be incredible.
Okay, I like that an awful lot. So I guess the next thing that I will say is I'd actually really like a Daisy May.
Ooh.
Because I don't know what they would do. It'd be very elaborate. Again, I don't think you'd be able to change the clothing. But imagine all the little turnip baskets that they could do with them. They could definitely find some attachables and detachables to utilise with them. Their little voice will obviously be their voice in the game. But I just think that because they're a new character to New Horizons, it's only right that they not necessarily get given priority, but they're definitely featured.
Yeah, I like that. So the next one I'm going to throw out there is quite an elaborate one. So JB, you can sit back for a little while. The main one that I want, that I think encapsulates everything that Build-A-Bear stood for in my mind and, you know, in the old TV adverts and things, is I would like a villager one. And this is when the stores reopen, because this would be elaborate and this would be something that you'd want to do yourself. But that there were different base teddies, okay, that had different colour skin, different hair colours and styles. And then there is a section of the store that's almost like Able Sisters, where they have the clothes from the store, say the top 100 items or something, that you could then dress your Islander in. So it is literally like you, because I think, you know, ultimately you are the most prominent character in Animal Crossing. You're there all the time. You go and visit all these different NPCs, but your villager is the main person. And I do think that, you know, one thing that we've touched upon in this podcast so much with people like Afro Crossing, Molly's EX Games, is identity, and how everyone feels like they've been able to really have their identity in New Horizons with different skin tones, different hair colours, all this kind of thing that a lot of games haven't had. So I feel like if Build-A-Bear would have been really quite clever with this, because people have, you know, really been given their identity in a game for a change, that almost giving them their identity in their character, in their teddy, in their Build-A-Bear would be an amazing concept. So yeah, like I was saying, my like all-time favourite would be if you could recreate your character as a Build-A-Bear.
I love that so much. And that was actually something that I think is very quotable with what you said, that the main character in Animal Crossing is you. I think that's so true. And imagine that would be relatively easy for Build-A-Bear, just to get to bulk produce a load of base kind of villagers, and then people go in and they're the ones that fill the details. Maybe they'll make it like, obviously the clothes will cost some money, but you know, this eye customization costs this hair costs that.
And I don't think this is something that you want to do now. This wasn't something they wanted to rush into when stores were closed because of lockdown. I feel like this is an experience that you could get with Build-A-Bear. And I would quite frankly, like, I'm a student, so my bank account's not that extensive, but I would go in there and empty the entire thing in the Ables department, just getting different outfits. Could you imagine? And I'm like in my 20s, but I'm going to sound about 10 right now. Could you imagine like logging into your game and then changing the villager you have next to you into the outfit that you're playing on the game in? Like, I think that'd be amazing. You could even make it that Animal Crossing has a new DLC with new outfits, and then they only make the outfits that's in that new DLC.
Like the Build-A-Bear line. Like there was the Sanrio collab. Now there's like
and the Mario one. Yes.
A Build-A-Bear collab.
Where the clothes appear in Ables, and they're the clothes that you can get in the Build-A-Bear for your Islander.
That would be amazing. Oh, I would vlog that.
And that is my most extensive concept, guys. This is where it peaks.
I would so do a vlog making that. Imagine that. I'm in love with that idea. Because they have got a special promotions tab now, and I don't know if they've announced an end for the Mario items, or I guess the Sanrio items are confirmed to be there forever now. So if they keep building on that promotions tab, that's a great idea.
Furthermore, the way you could get access to that could be to buy one of the Build-A-Bears and have almost like an amiibo scanner on its foot to get access to further items in the game.
See, there's already this kind of BAB, this Bab on the right arm. Is this the squeezy arm?
Yeah. But how cool would that be? Say, because I'm sorry, I've just had a like mind blower, okay? How amazing would it be if, as a special like thank you for buying this, the thing that you could scan in, say an amiibo thing on its foot, would get you your teddy as an item in the game to have in your bedroom or something.
Oh, see, I feel like they would waste that though. Like, I don't know what item was released recently, but there's an item that I really wanted you be able to be able to pick up and carry around and interact with, a bit like the kind of sparkling apple juice. And I would love that to be the case with a teddy as well. Like, could you imagine being able to like hold this teddy, carry it around with you, do like a little cuddle motion to it? But instead, I just think that if they did that, it would just blend in with like the other bears that they already have in the game, and I'd be upset by that. But if they made it so you could like cuddle it, and there was a teddy bear in the Sanrio set. If you could tuck your teddy into bed.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And the interaction when you press on A to it when it's placed is it makes the noises that this Build-A-Bear makes.
Oh, and how cool would it be if they coded it so it recognised the real NPC? Like, if you were to scan in Tom Nook, then Tom Nook has a funny bit of dialogue. If you speak to Tom Nook while your toy Tom Nook is in its hand, like, oh, wah, 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 wah. That's a nice looking toy you've got there. Wah, wah, wah. It looks like, familiar.
I think this is more elaborate than anything they'd ever do, but for me, so this was my second idea, but that is my dream idea. That is my number one that I would adore. Is, like I said, being able to customise yourself, but how good would it be if these were functional in-game items as well? So JB, moving on from this, your number 3.
Okay, so mine is nowhere near as elaborate as that, but I was definitely thinking more along the line of choosing characters that are a bit more customizable. Now, I don't know how to word this without sounding like a creep, but I would very much like a naked Gulliver with the sailor outfit and the pirate outfit next to it, because they are pretty much the same base model. I think it would be a bit weird to sell them as their own separate entities. They could definitely do that, but just imagining you can mix and match Gulliver, have like a hybrid Gulliver, or at the end of the day, if you don't like Pirate Gulliver, you've got standard Gulliver. If you prefer Pirate Gulliver, you've got them. Yeah. I would just like, you know, like a multiple sets included in the different clothing options.
That would be amazing. My next one kind of is similar to that, I guess. I would love either an Orville Wilbur, or I don't really know the difference, but I guess an Orville and Wilbur, just because I feel like Animal Crossing is a big community, and the way that you have access to that community is by going to speak to Orville and Wilbur. I think maybe they're the NPC that we even speak the most to, just because we like visiting our friends and things. So I think they would be amazing.
Ooh, I just had a random thought. This isn't one that I'm going to include, but do you remember when we like unboxed that YouTube Hero set?
Yeah.
Do you reckon they would ever do like famous Animal Crossing YouTubers as like toys?
That could be cool.
Because a lot of people, like say for example,
Chase.
Chase has very distinct features in terms of the hair and the eyebrows. They could definitely make a toy of Chase. I would buy that.
Me too.
But yeah, that's just a little side thing. I think that would be cool.
That would be cool.
I would love that.
Me too. But on to number 4, JV. You can't buy yourself any more time.
Okay.
I want your answer. Number 4.
This is mostly me beginning to get into TikTok a bit more. But I would love to be able to buy a Blathers toy for the whole purpose of traveling to different museums and taking screenshots or like pictures of Blathers in like behind aquariums and like next to fossils.
I want one that, like you said, Blathers would be cool. Imagine if one of the functionalities when you press the button was it shook because it's like a bug reaction. So the functionalities of the button could almost be the way it reacts to different donations, and one of them being that it vibrates a little because it's scared of bugs and it shakes when you donate one.
Could you imagine, like, for the purpose Amiibo? So, like, the Build-A-Bear has a scanner, but included with Blathers is a little, almost Amiibo coin with the fossil logo on it. If you do it, he says a random fossil thing. But if you do a bug, it does shake.
That would be amazing.
Because I had a toy like that, like the Monster Book of Monsters from Harry Potter. You pulled on its tongue and it started shaking. I would love that little feature.
That's cool. So Blathers was a great suggestion, JB.
I like that a lot.
And now I don't know where I want to go with this.
What is this, your 4th or 5th?
This will be my 4th, I think. Yeah, 4th. Okay, so... Okay.
And I guess we're assuming that they will be in game already.
Yeah. I am going to say... Okay, this was one of my favourite kind of times of year, favourite holidays in the games, Jack.
Oh, okay.
Because I can acknowledge that they aren't in the game for more than a day. But, do you know what? I don't want to say villagers because I just know they're not going to deliver on the villagers that I actually have. So I'm going to forget those. So I'm thinking NPCs here. And the NPC that or at least the holiday that I enjoyed the most, Halloween. There were so many items, I loved it. It introduced the farming element with the pumpkins. Jack.
I love that. The only thing that worries me of that is that either one, they'd be too scared to release it any other time than Halloween. Or 2, they dare to try and do that thing where they announce it a week before October and then make it limited so that you can't buy it anymore after the 31st, in which case that's just a scalper's paradise.
Yeah, it would be difficult, but we can see that this isn't just they're going to drop it all now. It's been announced that there's going to be one in May. Now, May Day was an event before where we got to see Rover, so to that end it could even be Rover that we see then, because that was the event in May. So yeah, if they keep releasing these throughout the year, it's definitely possible for October, I think. And that brought some new reactions as well, so they could try and incorporate those as the paw settings.
Yeah, I actually just love that we're recording and Tom Nook's just sat on my lap.
You just keep hugging it. You're so cute.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so cuddly. Like literally, whilst recording this, I'm just hugging it. I do love it so much.
Okay, number 5, JB. This is your last chance.
Oh, is it? Oh, I had 2 in mind.
Oh, tell us the 2, but then ultimately decide on 1.
I either wanted a Luna, but I think I'm going to end up going with Pave, because they have a musical thing like that. Like you could imagine just like chilling to that, or like the song that plays with the peacock floats, and you can have your own little festival where you can have a little boogie. Or you get their dialogue, and even their dialogue with their little jig that they do is very extensive as well. And just the design of Pave would look so good as a high quality plush toy. I would buy a Pave in seconds.
Okay, I like that. Now, I'm in a similar boat to you. I have 2 for my last slot. The first one would be Jingle. The reason I'm not going to go for them is I already think that we have a teddy bear that's a reindeer in a Santa suit for Christmas. So maybe it would be a bit generic, not very specific to Animal Crossing. So the one I'm going to go for is I would love a Pascal Build-A-Bear with a scallop in their hands.
Oh, I like that. Oh, I wonder if they could make it waterproof.
How cool would it be if it had like a little scallop in one of its paws? And obviously, I think Pascal's quite prominent because they brought us all the mermaid DIYs and all that kind of thing.
And they would have sound effects for days. You could have one that has like the diving sounds, the swimming sounds, and then one that just has their little words of wisdom dialogue.
Yeah, that's amazing. So guys, they are our wish list for Build-A-Bear. Let us know what you want in the comments. Let us know what you would like to see from Build-A-Bear. Let us know which one of our ideas was your favourite. Team Millie all the way, if possible, please. And we do have a little bit of an outro that we're going to touch on for this video. We have a Q&A section. You've all been sending in some questions over the last week, so we're going to answer them. If you would like to have your question featured on next week's podcast, please comment it below or get in touch on our Twitter and Instagram pages at jmillievids. So JB, any last Build-A-Bear things you want to touch on before we go on to that Q&A?
I think I'm okay, apart from just the general question to the audience: have you had your Build-A-Bear yet? And if so, which one did you get? We're in the kind of weird situation that we ordered Tom Nook and Isabel more or less at the same time, except Tom Nook has showed up and Isabel hasn't. Not a big problem, it wasn't a long wait at all. In fact, I didn't think we'd get these for another week, maybe even 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with that, especially with it being the same address, but it's an interesting question that I'd like to ask.
It is indeed, and if you want to see the unboxing of Tom Nook, we have that on the channel, and subscribe and turn on notifications because Isabel unboxing will be on its way as soon as it arrives. Okay, JB, so progressing on to that Q&A. So as always, you have the questions.
Yeah, so there are some very entertaining questions this week, so please do stick around for this. So the first question, and I've kept you relatively spoiler-free.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
So again, I'm going to keep these questions anonymous because why not? So the first question is, do you have any hobbies or special interests? And this is just one set of questions, so I'll just leave it at this for now.
Okay. So do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
Well, I can go first.
Okay.
Well, I guess obviously it goes without saying, hobbies and special interests is Nintendo and gaming, but something that I haven't shared on the channel for the longest time is that I love books and collecting books and reading books.
Even writing books, you're incredible
I've
at.
tried unsuccessfully, but one day I might get there. But we're recording this next to 3 entire bookshelves full of first edition Stephen King's. Which is kind of weird, because we've got like one whole section that's kind of horror books, and then another section that's Tom Nook plushies, so...
See, we are like huge readers. Between us, I think we have in the region of like 1,500 to 2,000 books in total. We love reading and collect them a lot as well, so childhood favourites.
First editions, signed copies, amazing.
See, you collect first edition Stephen King's, I collect first edition Enid Blyton's. So yeah, I think that's like our big kind of interest.
And I guess Pokemon card collecting. Though.
Yeah, see, this channel has turned me into everything I never thought I'd be. I used to bully people. I used to bully my nephew for playing Minecraft. I used to bully, I think, my brother for Pokemon. I now collect Pokemon cards.
Oh, that's mean. I didn't know that. That's horrible.
I used to bully you for Pokemon cards.
Yeah, that's true.
I will admit, wholeheartedly, this channel has made me a better person. I collect Pokemon cards, I admit it. I play Minecraft, I admit it. And, yeah, that's me.
So that is awesome. The next part of this is, do you travel a lot? And if so, where is your favourite place to travel?
Okay, so I guess I'll go first on this one, right?
Yeah.
I've never travelled too much. As a child, my family used to go on yearly trips to France, which I loved. There's this gorgeous place in France called Concarne. If you ever get a chance to look that up, and Le Mont Saint-Michel. They are my 2 favourite places that I have visited kind of with my family. JB and I haven't had a chance to go on many holidays. We've been together 3 years and we've spent a full year of that in lockdown. So we've not got to be many places together. We're hoping to travel a lot more. One place that we do like to travel together though is any zoos in the UK. We're trying to work our way around them all. I think the best zoo we've been to so far would perhaps be Chester Zoo in the UK. That was incredible.
Yeah.
So in terms of like my favourite travelling, that would be mine. JB, what about you? Where's your favourite places you've been?
Well, I've travelled to quite a lot of places. My parents used to adore travelling and seeing new places. So Singapore was fantastic, Hong Kong,
Disney World or Disneyland?
Disney World, yeah. And primarily though, my main holiday location was Cyprus because my parents have a place out there, so they're addicted to going there. Obviously not recently, but they love going there, and I actually used to work over there in the summer. But in terms of favourite place, I don't know, because we've been to some nice places together. Like, we went to Amsterdam together, and I'd definitely like to go back there again.
See, I do think we are yet to discover our favourite place together, and that's what makes it really special. So yeah, thank you so much for asking that question. Some good reminiscing moments there, and lots of things to look forward to as well.
Okay, so thank you so much. Now, we have some more questions. The first one of this lot being, would you like to stream one day?
Yes, okay, I'm butting in here, JB, you can't talk. When we did our New Year podcast special, I said it was one of my goals this year to start streaming. I have seen, so many of our amazing creators we follow start streaming, and I did some Jurassic World videos that I think were kind of on a streaming level, where I was just kind of interacting and talking to you guys, but not in real time. So it would be a huge goal of mine to start streaming. JB does think, and he is kind of the tech guy on this side, that we don't actually have a strong enough computer or strong enough internet for me to do that. But it is something I would really love to do.
Yeah, I guess the thing with streaming is, it's probably more of a summer thing, or until we get our own place. Because as it is now, we can't record any earlier than 11:30, midnight. And then, I don't know, I just feel like I'm very nervous to even entertain streaming, just in case you say the wrong thing, or because we don't really know who we'd have on as moderators. But it definitely is something that I think we'd both like to get into. Like, one thing I would love to stream is shiny hunting in, like, Pokemon Sword and Shield. Yeah. I think I'd love to do streams like that.
I can 100% see JB's reservations with streaming. Like, for all I'm, like, full on, like, oh yeah, I want to do this. And he's definitely taken the practical approach. He's certainly not, like, the bad guy in this scenario, because I have caused him so many problems with editing by doxing him and saying perhaps the wrong thing at times. Like, I'm definitely by far the louder one of the two, the one that's perhaps less edited in what they say. And so the fact that he doesn't want to, like, set me free with an audience, I don't blame him at all. I'm certainly going to require a lot of coaching from him before I do that, but it is something I would love to do.
Yeah, and I guess my own fear as well. Like, I'm a relatively anxious person, and with a live audience, I don't know. But it's not impossible. In fact, I'd say it's more or less certain. So the next question is, if not for Animal Crossing, do you think you'd have made videos? If yes, what other games would you concentrate on?
Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, well, I guess this kind of goes without saying in that we actually did create content before Animal Crossing. So the first video, or the first couple of videos we did on the channel were like fiance versus fiance Mario Kart videos.
Yeah.
They're awful, like absolutely dreadful. I was too scared to do commentary at the time, so I just got a load of non-copyrighted soundtracks and played it over the footage. That at the time it wasn't even a capture card, it was just a tripod aimed at a TV.
I remember one of them getting about 14 views or even 20 views, and we were ecstatic.
Yeah, like, oh my god.
And now we're in a position where our most viewed video, the home circuit one, how many views?
Well, the Urban Core Island tour's catching up to that, but they're both at about 10,500 views. Wow. Which isn't massive numbers.
That I remember, like, us going for a walk when we just started the channel, like, oh my goodness, this video's got multiple figure, like, we are at 10 views, this is incredible, I never thought this would happen. Like, who's actually watched this? It's just, I can't fathom the growth that the channel's had. It's incredible. Thank you all so much. Yeah. As JB said, we certainly would have at least made a few videos if it wasn't for Animal Crossing. I don't think we'd be doing the channel now. No.
I think maybe I would have tried to branch off. Like, I actually, on this channel, and we never filmed it, but I actually, when the new Stephen King book came out in lockdown, I had a full, like, skit planned, like, intros planned. I was going to full on do a Stephen King book review on the channel, and it never happened. I think I would have tried to branch off, maybe unsuccessfully, into booktube, like videos on how to spot a first edition, where to find first editions, how much is this worth.
That was certainly possible. I think it was our first video to hit 100 views, was we did a review of the Hunger Games book of Songbirds and Snakes. I'm actually getting emotional thinking about that book because it's just taking me back to lockdown and when we were at home and stuff, but that was one of the best videos that we did.
It was cool.
It was such a good book and we really enjoyed reading it, and it was the first audiobook I ever had. But yeah, we did such a good review, so many speculations, it was incredible.
Aww,
but the channel wouldn't be anywhere near as successful as it is without Animal Crossing, and we do owe so much to that and to all of you for subscribing.
Yeah, because there's loads of Animal Crossing YouTubers at the end of the day, so it does mean a lot that people come out and see our videos. So, the next question is, and this is a really fun one, I love questions like this. Would you rather be able to be invisible or be able to teleport?
I'd prefer to teleport. I think me being invisible would probably just put me in a bad mood with people because I'd just be doing it to hear what they have to say about me, and then I'd be angry at them for saying it. Whereas I think teleporting would actually...
Do you think you could sneak up to the people? I don't know.
Your parents have squeaky floorboards. It's not my fault, okay?
No, I don't think you'd do that. That's too...
You know I would.
You, who? Why? That's...
like, you I don't know, my family. Whereas teleporting's actually going to have some practical use. Like, I live 3 hours away from my family, roughly. And so that's just like a 3-hour drive that nobody wants to do. So it'd just be easy to just like snap across, see them and leave again.
It depends on the type of teleporting though. Like, there's this Netflix show that we like called Lock and Key, where that's kind of like teleporting. They have like a key, they put it in the lock, visualize where they need to go, and they can go through any door. I would like that, but if it's like the Nightcrawler from X-Men, where you physically have to see where you're going to teleport there, or you risk, getting stuck in a wall or something, I don't think I like that. But if it's literally you can teleport and you're on holiday in Hawaii, I would love to teleport.
Yeah, that'd be incredible.
So we have a batch of questions now. What's your favourite food, colour and video game?
Okay, my favourite food is... I love Mexican food. So I had this amazing night at my sister's house where there was her, she has a partner, they've got like 3 children. There was my brother and his wife, and I was there as well. And she just made this huge tray of like enchiladas, guacamole, refried beans, rice, and it was just such a nice family experience, just all sitting around that table and sharing that kind of food. Mexican food is like a standout for me because of that moment, I think. So yeah, JB, you can do food?
Yeah, honestly, I want to go for the more... No, I was going to say like Italian, like either like pizza or spaghetti, but... Oh my god, I don't know what type of cuisine this is, but the prawn toast that you get with like Chinese food. Oh, when that's done perfectly, it's like having heaven in your mouth. It's amazing. Like, I'm craving it now.
Okay, the second one, was it colour?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I've got kind of 2 kind of high up colours. My first one would be red. I've always loved red. And also I've got this light blue t-shirt that I'm wearing right now, and I kind of love that colour. I certainly think that in terms of clothes, light blue is my favourite colour, but for other things, just like for maybe like even room decoration, I love red. I just find it a really warm colour. So I guess that kind of sums up, I guess the reason I like those 2 colours. Light blue because it summarises cold and I love cold weather, but red because I love being warm in cold weather, like sat with a fire or a blanket and just feeling warm. So I guess that's kind of the feelings behind those 2 colours.
I get that. Or like just like that cosy feeling of like hearing rain against the windows and you're all snuggled up.
I love that. And thunderstorms and that kind of thing. I love it.
Thunderstorms scare me.
It's okay, you've got Tom Nook to cuddle now.
Yeah, but that's amazing, because I'm kind of... Well, I've got... Oh, gosh.
He's just reassuring you.
Oh, thank you.
He's telling you it's going to be okay.
Aww.
For 100,000 bells, will stay with you in a thunderstorm.
That's just extortion. But it's amazing because we're both wearing our Gaming for Guru t-shirts, and like Bobby's wearing the same thing as Tom Nook. So we're all,
Oh wow, we're actually all kind of matching.
we're all twinning. This is amazing. I love this so much.
So your favourite colour, JB?
Now, I've got 3. You say it's for a weird reason, but it
Okay,
isn't.
so let's go through JB's 3 favourite colours. JB likes purple, orange and green as his 3 favourite colours. So growing up, JB absolutely loved Scooby-Doo, and his favourite character in that was Daphne. And obviously the 3 colours you'd most associate with Daphne is her purple dress, her orange
pink.
hair and her green scarf. So that's where the 3 colours originate. Is that the story, JB?
It's just a coincidence.
Uh-huh.
It's orange, obviously.
Can we bring your brother in here to verify this story?
We cannot.
Yeah, I didn't think
we
so.
most certainly cannot.
No, I
do
didn't think
that.
we could.
I don't think we'd be able to put this video out. Okay.
And what was the third element? It was food, colour
And video game.
video game. For Animal Crossing is the one that we predominantly play on the channel, and it was certainly my lockdown game. My favourite game of all time would have to be The Sims 2. It's one that I come back to. It's one that I've pumped thousands upon thousands of hours into. Like even recently I made JB go in the basement and drag the discs out so I could do another another game of it. I just love it so much. I honestly think when I'm 50 I'm still going to go back to play that game. The graphics might be awful, it might lag slightly, and you might not be able to do anything without cheat codes, but I'm just a really creative person, and so I enjoy it so much. What about you? Favourite video game?
I think I am going to say Animal Crossing, because I've had games that have stuck with me for years and years, like Mario Galaxy. But I just think Animal Crossing has represented so much more than a game. It's, a community, it's creation. It's almost like a safe place in like years that have been very difficult. So I just love it, and I think I still will. And even now, I don't see myself revisiting it maybe in 10 years, in 20 years or whatever, but I do think it's a game that I'll look back on. Like, I can just imagine, say, when we've got children, grandchildren, going into like, the game shops of the future and seeing, Animal Crossing New Age or whatever it's called then, and just going, oh my gosh, that takes me back. And I'd get it, and I'd play it.
Good.
And I'd fan growth. So I like that a lot. That's a really nice question. Okay, so we've got some funny ones now.
Ooh.
So yeah, we do appreciate these questions a lot, because I think last week when we did it, we got 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But now we've got quite a few, and I feel very, very official, and I'm happy. So, what's the first thing you'll do after lockdown?
I think we've collectively agreed that we're going to go to a zoo.
Yes.
I think we collectively agreed we're going to go to the local zoo. That's certainly top of my list. It's been... And do you know what? Like, I also really just want to go on a date with you. Like, we've not been able to go out for food together or anything like that for over a year now. So honestly, I think my ideal would maybe be to, go to the zoo and maybe head somewhere for like a movie or dinner later if we can.
Oh yeah, when the movies open up again, that'll be great, because I miss that so much.
I actually sound really cringy with my answer. What's yours?
I was gonna go less romantic than that.
Surprise.
I was literally, the first thing that sprung to my mind is going to like toy shops looking for Vivid Voltage.
To be honest, I expected you to say Domino's, so at least something for the channel slightly better.
Yeah, and I need to keep up with like Ring Fit and stuff like that. I'm not opening that kind of worms yet, because then one Domino's turns into 2, and then that turns into 3.
And then you're ordering 8 burgers from McDonald's all at once.
No. 8 burgers.
That's never happened, Jamie, has it? Okay.
Nobody's done that. Do we have any trips upcoming?
I guess not. We've not actually thought too much about what happens when we come out of lockdown. I think we're both waiting to hopefully get like a second vaccination, hopefully. And then from there be able to kind of plan things. But honestly, we're kind of finishing uni right now, so career's like the main thing on our mind. But there's certainly trips I'd like to take in the future. They're just not imminent.
Yeah, 3 words. Super Nintendo World. Okay, I wouldn't call it upcoming as such, but in the future...
I've got 3 words for you. Empty bank account.
In the future, that's going to happen, and we're going to vlog it. It's going to be on the channel, okay? Subscribe for that. Subscribe for that. In the future.
Turn on notifications for 30 years' time, guys.
No, it's going to be sooner than that. So, at JB... Any plans for a beach episode since you're getting beach bod ready?
Yeah, so
now.
You put out your Ring Fit video of your hour-long workout you do every day.
Interestingly enough, though, we actually, unironically, did have a beach episode of Home Circuit planned.
Yeah, we did.
And we'd literally gone to the beach to film it, only to realise that you couldn't connect the Switch just on, like, I guess the Switch's own internal internet or... through the app or anything without internet. So we'd gone to the beach. Granted, it was literally like a 2-second walk, but we couldn't film there.
I guess we can just do one where we bury it in sand and then try and work it in the house again, right?
Oh God, I would not do that. I mean, maybe I would. Maybe I would.
You threw it down the stairs. You tried to make it fly with a drone, and you were telling me you wouldn't cover it in sand.
It sounds tricky. It's tricky. Right, next question. How much time do you spend getting a video ready to post typically?
So this is for you, JB, because I honestly, I love recording. If we're doing an island build, I'll just sit there and film it. So however long the video is for me. But honestly, JB takes the whole thing from there. And I don't think, I still don't fully understand what goes into a video, but I know, you have to edit, you have to upload, you do tags, you do thumbnails, you do premieres.
I mean, I've still got a long way to learn in terms of editing. Like, a lot of YouTubers do this, and people that we watch, I think Stilo and Cree, Amy Games have this cool animation, and I think Molly's EX Games as well, where the subscribe button comes up and an arrow goes to click it. I really want to learn how to input that in, just because I just think that's really cool. But I think the editing takes as long as the video takes. So if it's a 5-minute video, it'll take me 5 minutes to sit through the video and edit out what needs to. But for this episode of 5-Star Talk, it's an hour now. So it's going to take as long as this video is. So if we stopped recording now, it would take about an hour to prepare.
I guess maybe, just because you need to cut bits and then re-listen to how you've cut it.
Thumbnails and all that.
And I guess if it's what we call an IRL video, like an unboxing, you like to edit in things, so
music.
It's longer for that.
Yeah. So it depends. It depends. Okay, who are some people who inspire you?
Honestly, the list is endless for this. So, I guess the first kind of video that we watched in terms of Animal Crossing was Chase Crossing, and I think that's kind of where everything might have kicked off. Upon the way, we have met so many incredible people. I mean, as JB said earlier, we're both wearing our Gaming for Guru tops right now, and I think there's somebody who is their advice is gonna stick with us forever. And do you know what? I even used their words to JB, yesterday, I think, when we were talking about what video to upload, and JB was like, well, what about this? And I was like, and what about doing a tour? They always get good views. And I was like, well, yeah, but what about this? Because it isn't just about views, it's about what we want to make and all that kind of thing. And that is one thing that they said to us, and I think their advice is always going to be really prominent. And I think if anything, they've made us want to really continue because of the community and just all the wonderful people that you do meet along the way. There are so many people that inspire us who we have met along the way, such as Amy Games, Stilo and Cree, TJ Benz, Molly's EX Games. There's just so many. There's Techie Crossing, Poker Crossing, Holly Crossing, Console Kato. The list is endless. Honestly, just so many incredible people. Harley Q, I know that there's still so many, but I do know that we'd be sat here for a good 20 minutes listing all the incredible people that we've worked with who do inspire us on a daily basis.
I would say just look at our sub box and you'll see them all there, and they're doing some fantastic things. As of recording this, Console Kato has just launched their own merch on a specialised website, and we've looked at that and I want to order.
We get paid tomorrow, and there's going to be some merch orders going in there.
So they're all doing amazing things, and Oh, there's other stuff as well, like people that we collabed with the Among Us videos, like Random Square, Craig, Zach, Techie Crossing. They're all amazing.
And you know what? Even people that don't have YouTube, just that we've met in the community, like, for example, our little group that we call the Coalition, Scurvy, Tiffer, Annalise, I often think about videos that I think they'll enjoy, or... I don't know. I just think that we think about everyone that we've met along this journey when we consider what we're posting and all that kind of thing.
And I guess in terms of like, YouTubers that have broken to like say over 1 million subscribers, I guess I really like Vicstar. I think they've inspired me quite a lot.
I mean, we watch Sidemen videos every week because they are so funny. They're so hilarious, and obviously that is kind of what everyone's dream, I guess, is for YouTube to do even a quarter of the success that they've achieved. But, they do have really good content and incredible merch.
Yeah.
SidemenClothing.com.
I'm addicted to that. So, next question. I don't really understand this question, but it's what's your favourite type of content to talk about? Now, I'm not sure if that means, do you prefer to talk about Animal Crossing updates, new games, speculations, or if say TJ Burns uploaded a Pokemon card video and if Amy uploaded an island tour, would we rather talk about the cards of the island tour? I don't know what it means, but I guess I can answer what content or what type of video gets me talking the most, and it's surprisingly tier lists. Because I remember watching, say, some of our friends' tier lists and, like, commentating along with it, like we were doing a reaction, like, oh, okay, that has to be there, or that has to be there, and, like, almost clutching our hearts in agony if, like, say, Lily was put in C tier or something.
For me, it's speculation videos, like what's coming in the next update, what's coming from Build-A-Bear. Like, I can tell, just from my body language, that this podcast is one that I'm most engaged with. Like, I'm leant forward towards the mic because I've just enjoyed speculating on things so much. And so I guess just making predictions and kind of, this is going to sound a bit weird, but using my brain and having to think always makes me so much more engaged.
I like that. And I'm enjoying this episode a lot. Okay, so what is the best looking game you've ever played?
Oh. This is an interesting one because I'm a snob when it comes to graphics. I love the premise of Stardew Valley. I play Stardew Valley. The graphics, not crazy about them. Pokemon games, I play some of them, but Pokemon Dungeon, the graphics of that, I wouldn't play it. I think, and again, I've just become so much more of a better person through the channel because I'd have bullied somebody who said this beforehand if it was like you or my brother. And Pokemon Sword and Shield.
See, that's controversial,
I actually love the graphics in that game. Do you know what? It was my first Pokemon game, and I used to be such a snob with games. I was like, oh, I don't play games. Ooh, yay.
Oh, yeah.
Like, haha, you play Minecraft to like my nephews and stuff. I was awful. I really was a horrible person.
Menace.
But like I said, I play Minecraft, I play Pokemon. I've changed. And I remember watching JB playing Sword and Shield, and I saw the graphics, and I was like, I could play this. Just for those graphics alone, I know I could play this. And so I did, and I loved it. And so yeah, for me, Sword and Shield, the graphics sold me on the entire Pokemon franchise.
I like that, and that is, again, quite controversial, as a lot of people kind of roast the graphics on Sword and Shield, especially when you get into things like the wild area, but I really like it as well. But I'm kind of in two minds about, the best looking game I've played, because I'm by no means a graphics snob. Like literally the other day we were playing Spore, a very, very old game, and it's still alright looking, but again, it's no HD, it's nothing like that.
But to me, it's better than Pokemon Dungeon.
No, I love that game. That's like stylized, so it's
watercolors.
I just think Stardew is a very stylized game. It's not too much to my taste, but I'd definitely play it again. But I don't play anything like Xbox or PlayStation or big PC gaming. I'm primarily a Switch user. So for that reason, I have to say the best looking game I've played has to be Luigi's Mansion 3, because it's all in such a confined zone, and those cutscenes, like the attention to detail they give to Luigi's clothing, how all the stitches are visible, and how things move, and how fluid the cutscenes go, and the water always looks gorgeous.
I guess I'm going to provide an answer for your brother C, who's sometimes on the channel.
Breath of the Wild.
They always talk about the graphics on Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
They were so impressed with them. So I guess just to give that its representation, that I think that's what C would have said.
I replayed that once, and it actually wasn't my thing. I had a very begrudging half an hour playthrough of that.
We did.
Okay, so let's see where we are now. What is the most fun you've ever had playing a game? Mario Kart totally counts.
Ooh. See, there's some moments that stand out to me. I wouldn't say they were they're fun upon reflection, but at the time they weren't too fun. Like, so for example, we have this incredible creator that's reached out to us to complete their Mario Maker levels, and JB threw the Joy-Cons on a video.
Wait, that wasn't that video. That was the 3D World video.
You threw the Joy-Cons in this one as well.
I did I?
Yeah, you threw the Joy-Cons in the last level we did when the lava was rising.
Oh, I forgot that.
And obviously
I don't doubt it though, because I was very frustrated in that.
There was also a 3D World video when JB threw the Joy-Cons. And at the time I get a little bit scared, like, oh no, what's going to happen? But no, it's okay.
This is why I can't stream though. Imagine if I was like sat there for hours and hours, like live streaming. I don't know what would happen. I think we'd get cancelled.
But I think ultimately just the game that stands out to me the most, it has to be Mario Kart, because you're so good at that. You can be a little bit of a show off. And just the levels when I beat you is just great. Like, the Luigi's Mansion level, I once won at that. And he was like, no, I can't do this. I can't have you get comfortable winning at this level. This can't happen. So yeah, it's certainly a good victory winning at that game against you.
I have two answers. One with you and one generally that I wish that we could play a bit more.
Okay.
So the one with you, controversially, Mario Party 8.
No, wait, shush.
Shut
up, because I know what you're going to say. Are you going to say Risk?
What do you oh, no.
As one of the games that's most memorable. Okay, it is for me. I cancel my last answer, okay? We have this game for the Switch called Hasbro Games Night. One of the games on that is Risk, and we are so competitive, it's pathetic. Like, anybody that watches us play that would think we were a set of children squabbling like little siblings or something. But honestly, it gets real. Like, I in the past have grabbed hold of JB's arm and made him wave at the screen when I've taken countries from him in that game. It gets so competitive. And
yeah, there's situations where like I've only got like 3 islands left, and I sit there for like 5 minutes giving full-on speeches to these troops. Like,
oh, please comment if you want to see us play that on the channel. We do have to do a game of that one day.
I mean, we told Scurvy we'd play it months ago, but we never got around to it. But maybe
we need to do it, because I don't feel like we're ever going to be viewed the same way again, because I like physically try and wipe tears from his face and everything. It gets a little bit competitive, to say the least.
But the one that I was going to say that I wanted to play more of with you is that game for the Wii U. I don't know what it's called, like Wii Plaza or something. But it is the one that includes the Metroid game, the game where it's like Luigi's Mansion, someone has the gamepad and they sneak up to Luigi as a ghost.
I remember playing that with you and your brother.
Yeah, there's also that other one that's really fun. What is it? I don't know what it is. I just thought about them, but it's so much fun, and that's the one that I wish that I'd played.
Okay. Any more questions?
A game that you will love when you're 80.
Sims 2.
Sims 2?
I honestly think it's the only game that I've played that I'll still play when I'm 80.
I like that. Mine is probably going to be either Animal Crossing, New Horizons, or Mario Galaxy.
I like the answer. I've had a lot of fun playing those games with you, so.
So we do have some more questions here. This is amazing. I really do appreciate the amount of questions that we've got this week.
Please drop your questions in the comments so that we can answer them in our next podcast on Sunday of next week.
So this is a very interesting one, and one that we can both answer very differently. So something you'd gift Millie/JB because you know they'd smile. So I guess for you it'd be something you'd gift me for something I'd gift you.
Okay, do you want to go first?
Yes. I would gift to you some more of the Animal Crossing Colourpop makeup because I know how much you really liked them last time.
I actually cried. I did cry. So I wanted to order the Colourpop makeup, and on release day, the full collection was sold out. I could only get like 2 eyeshadows. And then they'd re-announced that they were going to have it all restocked. So I was ready to order that, and I missed it. And JB bullied me. Not just a little bit, not just once or twice, but a minimum of 5 times a day going, it's out of stock like Colourpop was. And it was so annoying. So it led to a couple of arguments. And it was about a week after Valentine's Day, I think. And there was a knock at the door. JV brought this box in, so it's just the postman. And I saw the Made in LA bit on the side, and I recognised it from when we'd got the eyeshadow delivered. And no word of a lie, I actually cried a little bit. Yeah, that was a really nice moment. He'd set an alarm for the second restock to make sure he hadn't missed it. I hadn't set the alarm, I forgot, and so was about 10 minutes late.
And disclaimer, I would not have taunted Millie about them being out of stock if I didn't manage to secure them.
Oh, goodness.
So what would you gift me? This is ridiculous. Why haven't you thought about this?
Because I wanted to think of a good answer and then couldn't think of one.
I am the easiest person in the world to shop for.
You are, but that's why I can't just say anything at random. It has to be something of specific grandeur.
A colour block hoodie.
You've already got that though.
Vivid voltage.
No. I honestly think it'd be something that we talked about on the channel earlier. I would love to gift you a KK Slider teddy that actually sang one of his songs.
Yes.
Because you do have a KK Slider shrine, so I'd want to add to that. Although, given what you've just done to Tom Nook, letting him nearly fall on the floor, I don't think you can be trusted with another teddy.
It literally just rolled off and we both lunged towards it to stop it from falling. Okay, I like that. Favourite song?
Oh. Okay, you might have to answer this first. I need thinking time.
Maybe Bubblegum KK, because Bubblegum KK is iconic. Or maybe if it has to be a more, I guess, mainstream song. Yeah. I like anything David Bowie really, like Starman. I love Starman.
Okay.
Or Under Pressure that they did with Freddie Mercury.
I'm gonna say that if it's from the game, Animal Crossing, mine would be Welcome Horizons.
Oh, or Jump Up Superstar.
Yeah.
Or maybe something else.
So yeah, like I said, mine from in Animal Crossing would be New Horizons, but other than that, okay, JB and I have like a little playlist that we go through when we want to listen to music that's like diss tracks and stuff on YouTube just because they're hilarious. But I also really like music from movies. So for example, I think it was nearly 2 years ago now, JB and I went to see Rocket Man in cinema together. And whenever we go anywhere in the car, because we saw the movie together, we downloaded the soundtrack and we listened to that. So I guess just the Rocket Man soundtrack would be like it for me.
I like that. I like the Crocodile Rock.
What's the one that stands out to me? I'm trying to think what song in particular from that movie stands out for me. I guess it would just be the song Rocket Man.
Oh yeah, I like that. So, something you'd want to learn to do / hobby you're interested in. So I guess we already answered the hobby one, but I guess something we'd want to learn to do.
Mine would be to play the piano. childhood dream. Or sing better. I love singing, but I'm just not very good at it. As you guys know from the island tours, whenever I get the opportunity, I sing. But I just can't do it.
No, you can't.
Although, oh my goodness, I'd completely forgotten about that. The intro to or is it the outro, to that book review we did of Songbirds and Snakes, I actually sung the full Hanging Tree song, didn't I?
Yeah.
I'd actually forgotten about that. Oh, that's embarrassing. I can't believe that's still up on there. Oh. What do you want to learn to do?
I'd like to learn to win over the hearts and minds of people.
That's a very sweet answer. I want to learn how to remove that video that's got me singing in it.
Well, we can. If this video gets 100 likes, we'll probably delete it.
Yeah, like this video to save me, please.
Okay, so don't laugh at this. If when I ask this, you're going to realise what it is. It's a family-friendly version of something.
Oh no. What scurvy ass.
So, it's fondue, family, or farewell, Spider-Man, Captain America, and Batman. So which one would you have a fondue with? So which one would you eat biscuits with, or like chocolate? Family, which one would you like to look after a family with, or which one would you say farewell to?
Okay, and what was the 3 options?
Spider-Man, Captain America, and Batman.
Okay, so I guess Captain America is a very family man. I think Tom Holland's a bit too young to enjoy fondue, so it'd have to be Batman.
Oh, so you'd say farewell to Spider-Man?
Yeah.
So you're worse than Thanos?
Mm-hmm.
So I would have a fondue with Captain America.
I'm sure that would be great.
Because I feel like with his physique, he wouldn't eat any of my chocolate. So that's good. I think family with Spider-Man, because after Uncle Ben, he'd know the value of keeping family members safe. And I'd say farewell to Batman, because he scares me. Okay. We're coming up to our last few ones.
Especially in The Dark Knight Rises, I imagine.
No. So, any new games you're excited for in 2021?
I guess I don't actually know of any games coming out in 2021, really. I just kind of play games as they arrive. The only ones that I really know of is I don't know if it's already out, there is a new Harry Potter game coming, but at the minute I think it's only Xbox and PlayStation, and I don't have access to either of those, but I'd love to play it. And I guess Pokemon Snap looks relatively fun.
Yeah. I don't know if this counts, so I'm going to give 2. I saw on the Limited Run Games Twitter account that the standard physical copy of Scott Pilgrim the game is being shipped out, and we actually ordered the KO edition, so I'm really looking forward to that being released and being shipped. But obviously, you know, the base game is released, we've played it. So the one that isn't released yet, the Diamond and Pearl remakes, I really cannot wait to play them. I think they're going to be such a great time. I'm going to do a playthrough on the channel that no one's going to watch or want, but I'm going to love it. So please subscribe for that.
Please comment not to do that. No.
Okay, we've already kind of answered this as well, but dream vacation when it's safe to travel.
Ooh, I don't think we really did answer that. My dream vacation is, and has always been, to go to Italy.
Oh.
I've always said that that's going to be our honeymoon destination. It's somewhere I've always wanted to go. I want to see like the kind of old, like ancient Rome kind of vibe, as well as kind of all the natural beauty and like Shakespeare inspiration in Venice, all that kind of thing.
Can we honeymoon at Super Nintendo World? Why not? Because
that's somewhere that we're going to take our children.
It isn't.
Oh, that's another dream vacation. I want to take, when we have children, I want to take them to Lapland at Christmas.
Oh, yes, I like that. Or Legoland. I like Legoland. We could have Lego Mario.
And you went to Disneyland as a child. I've never done that. I'd love to go there when we have kids.
I want to go to Universal Studios as well.
You've already been, haven't you?
Yeah, but I want to go again.
You're such a lucky child.
I wasn't. So, another one. Can you visit my island with dream address?
Yeah, anyone who wants us to visit their island, comment your dream addresses below.
Okay. So, here's a question, and we've spoken about this briefly. from Jason, the amazing creator, and I can say this because obviously we've
we've talked about them.
Jason, who made the Mario Maker 2 levels. So, how are you feeling after 2 of my castle levels in Super Mario Maker 2? They get tougher, but are well built.
JB feels that his hair is going grey, that they're stressing him out quite considerably, that we've had to order a new set of Joy-Cons because he threw them across the room, and that he doesn't know that the Switch nor him can take much more, but he's gonna try. I believe that's the answer, right?
I mean, my hair's definitely going grey, but I think that's more your fault than the Super Mario Maker
dare
levels.
you.
But oh gosh, I actually do need to apologise because it was just
you did get a little bit
a little bit
angry on the last one.
It was just taking me so long. I thought it was grossly unfair at the time, and it was like 3:00 in the morning. And according to my mum, I get grumpy when I've not eaten. So I am sorry for that, but overall, it hurt me. And this is weird because it's dawned on me that these podcasts go out on Sunday. We've committed ourselves to doing a new level on Monday, which means that literally just
let's get recording, JB.
minutes after this premiere, I'm going to be doing another one. So
wish him luck in the comments, guys. If you're here in the premiere, wish JB luck and send him a box of hair dye. He's going to need it.
I'm not dyeing my hair. I'm getting a nice...
You're not going grey at 22.
I'm getting a nice full set of grey hair. Like George Clooney.
I'm always going to dye my hair.
Or my uncle.
Okay. Any more questions, JB?
That is the last question. Ooh.
Okay, thank you guys so much for listening. Like we said, if you want us to visit your dream address or indeed have any questions for us, please comment them below and we will answer them in our next episode. A week today, guys. These go out every Sunday, so subscribe and turn on notifications for that. As we've discussed in this video, with so much housekeeping, we have so much going on the channel at the minute. So remember to enter our giveaway. Check out the video. The link will be in the description so you can enter that. It will be drawn in our next 5-Star Talk podcast. So you have exactly, it won't be drawn in the 5-Star Talk podcast. It'll be drawn on the Sunday, which is our next the day of our next 5-Star Talk podcast. So you guys have exactly a week to enter that. So guys, I completely stumbled over my words there and I do apologise. But for more Nintendo content, including Animal Crossing, Mario, and so much more, please like, comment, and subscribe.
JB and Millie.
Pay the bells, guys.